Hello, I'm Alistair McIntyre of Electric Scotland, and I just wanted to do this little tutorial about reading messages within our Electric Scotland community. As you can see from the screen here, I've actually logged into the system. It's recognised me. It's saying good afternoon, Alistair. But if I want to see what's new, there is a link here, if you can see that, saying new posts. So if you were to click new posts, a screen will then come up showing you any new posts since you were last on the system. Now, one of the neat things is that you'll see here a little box with two tiny wee arrows, and if you actually see the prompt, it says go to the last post. So if I actually click that, I would go directly to that particular post. And so if I click it now, you'll see the message essentially come up. Now if I go back and I go to this one, which is the second one, and I click on that, my only reason for doing that is that I want to show what happens if there are no new posts. So if I now come back to the top and click on new posts, you'll see there are no new posts to view now. But it says you may search for posts updated during the previous 24 hours here. And so if you were to click here, it will then bring up the posts in the last 24 hours, which always gives you an opportunity to see what's going on. And so as you can see, there's quite a few posts in fact in the last 24 hours. But what I'd like to show you as well is, if I picked one of these stories, let's see, yeah, here's one. It's snowing in Scotland. So again, if I click this, I'll go to the very last post that was made by Kelly D. And so when I click that, it's actually going to go to her post. Now, one of the things you can do from here is, having read that, you can actually scroll up on the thread to see what the previous post was, because the previous post might also be one you haven't read. And again, you can scroll up and you'll see that there was in fact 3 messages within this particular thread. So these are ways you can read the message. The other thing you can do is, like, it's got you can do a very quick look at it. Like, you can, if you've put the post in yourself, you can click edit post here and you can correct any errors or something you have. If you just really want to reply to the message, you can click reply and that will reply to this particular message. Reply with quote simply means that it will copy the message into your reply, and you can then edit out. You don't need to quote the entire message, you can just quote a bit of it by editing it. So these are the various ways you can do that. Here there's other little icons which do a variety of things, and again, if you rest your cursor over it, you see you're getting information coming out on that. If you in fact were to read any of those messages, like if you go back to, say, the main forum, and then you went to, say, general posts here, if you thought that was of interest to you, you see it actually reports how many are viewing it at the time. So you can scan down and see if there's any messages you particularly like to read. And saying, this is one looking for a book, The Lady of Kinachen, is that? So again, if you just click the thread itself, you will get the message, but then you're getting it basically from the top, the very original message. And so if anyone had replied, there would be replies underneath it. Whereas the other way I showed you, you're actually going to the last post and you're scrolling up the way to see if there's anything that you'd like to read. There are also various ways you can display. For example, if you click here on the display button, you can get everything organized in either linear mode, or you can switch to hybrid mode, or you can switch to threaded mode. But what we'd recommend is that you actually try all three modes and see which one that you like best out of all of them. So that's just a little introduction to how that you might read messages on the system, and how you can always check for new posts, because if you haven't been in for a couple of days, click the new post and you'll immediately find anything new. So I hope that's been helpful.